The events of January 6, 2021 marked a pivotal moment in American history, igniting a series of political and economic repercussions that continue to resonate today. As supporters of then-President Donald Trump stormed the U.S. Capitol, their actions underscored a troubling disregard for democratic institutions. This day is now being cited as the starting point of an economic crash that has raised alarms amongst economists and political analysts alike. In a recent commentary, Froma Harrop highlighted how the insurrection was emblematic of a broader decay in political norms fueled by Trump's refusal to concede the 2020 election. The fallout from that day has been profound, with many billionaires and influential figures prioritizing financial gain over the stability of democratic processes. Hedge fund manager Bill Ackman, once a Trump backer, has emerged as a critic, warning that the ongoing trade war policies could lead to an economic nuclear winter. His remarks reflect a growing unease among powerful investors about the long-term implications of current economic strategies. Central to this discontent is the role of key figures in the Trump administration, such as Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. In a recent appearance, Lutnick downplayed concerns of a recession even as economic indicators suggested otherwise. His optimistic proclamations, including urging viewers to buy Tesla stock, have been met with skepticism. Tesla shares have continued to decline, raising questions about the credibility of his forecasts. Ackman pointedly noted Lutnick's financial interests, suggesting that his indifference to a crashing economy may stem from personal profit motives. The economic implications of Trump's policies extend beyond individual investors. They reflect a systemic issue within the U.S. government's approach to trade and international relations. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's vague responses regarding tariff negotiations with Canada and Mexico reveal a lack of coherent strategy and a troubling disconnect from essential economic realities. The administration's trade policies, particularly the imposition of tariffs, have led to retaliatory measures from international partners, further straining relationships and exacerbating economic instability. Moreover, the ongoing threats and pressures from Trump's supporters against lawmakers and judges pose a significant risk to the fabric of American democracy. The willingness of some Republicans to support Trump's agenda despite its divisive nature raises questions about the future of bipartisan governance. Harrop argues that the American economy, once a beacon of stability and growth under previous administrations, is now mired in uncertainty, largely due to the political turmoil ignited by the events of January 6. As the political landscape continues to evolve, the potential for further economic challenges looms large. With Trump's influence still palpable, the question remains whether the U.S. can reclaim a sense of democratic integrity and economic stability. The potential fallout from the upcoming tariff negotiations and the administration's approach to international trade will be closely watched as the world observes how the U.S. navigates these treacherous waters. Looking ahead, the implications of these developments are profound. The intersection of politics and economics will likely dictate the course of U.S. policy in the coming years, as the country grapples with the consequences of past actions. The urgency for a return to a more stable and constructive dialogue is clear. Whether the current administration can pivot towards a more collaborative approach with both domestic and international partners remains to be seen, but the stakes have never been higher. In an era where digital engagement is paramount, the Philadelphia Business Journal has taken a significant step forward by announcing its search for a full-time digital editor. This strategic move comes as the publication aims to enhance its online presence and adapt to the rapidly changing media landscape, where the demand for timely and engaging business news has never been greater. The role of digital editor is pivotal, tasked with the day-to-day management of online content while leading the execution of a comprehensive online content strategy across various platforms, including digital articles, email newsletters, and mobile applications. The ideal candidate will thrive in a fast-paced environment, possessing a strong background in online news operations and demonstrating a keen ability to craft compelling narratives that resonate with a diverse audience. According to the job listing, the digital editor's primary objective will be to produce engaging daily content that not only informs but also drives audience loyalty and expands the business journal's brand in the digital realm. The position demands solid news judgment, exceptional headline writing skills, and a familiarity with search engine optimization, SEO practices, and site metrics. As the publication seeks to balance high-quality journalism with ambitious traffic and engagement goals, the digital editor will play a crucial role in curating and generating stories that meet these targets. The responsibilities extend beyond content production, as the digital editor will also manage and edit a team of reporters, ensuring that all content adheres to the highest standards of quality. Collaboration will be key. The digital editor will work closely with newsroom colleagues to extend online articles for print and develop strategies to enhance audience engagement across social media platforms. This announcement reflects a broader trend in the media industry, where traditional publications are re-evaluating their strategies to maintain relevance in an increasingly digital world. The emphasis on digital content is not just about keeping up with competitors, but also about meeting the expectations of a readership that demands immediate access to news and insights. As the Philadelphia Business Journal embarks on this new chapter, it signals a recognition that the future of journalism lies in the ability to adapt and innovate. The digital landscape presents both challenges and opportunities, and the publication's proactive approach could serve as a model for others in the industry. As the demand for digital editors grows, it will be fascinating to observe how this role evolves and impacts the way business news is consumed in the coming years. The search for a digital editor is just one example of how media organizations are reshaping their operations to meet the needs of modern audiences. As these changes unfold, the industry will continue to witness the fusion of traditional journalism with new media strategies, ultimately redefining our understanding of news consumption and engagement. The future of journalism is undeniably digital, and it is crucial for publications to embrace this transformation to thrive in a competitive landscape. In recent years, CMOS has surged in popularity, emerging as a billion-dollar health trend that has captured the attention of health enthusiasts and influencers alike. This marine algae, scientifically known as Chondrus crispus, is touted on social media platforms for its purported benefits, ranging from improved digestion to enhanced skin health. But as its market value soared to an impressive $2.18 billion in 2024, with projections to reach $2.60 billion by 2030, the question arises: is CMOS truly worth the hype? While many are quick to label CMOS a superfood, experts urge caution. The product, often found in health stores and online, comes in various forms: dried flakes, gels, powders, gummies, and capsules, but much of what consumers purchase is far from the raw algae. Processing methods, particularly for carrageenan, a common emulsifier derived from CMOS, strip away many nutrients, including soluble fiber that is crucial for gut health. Carrageenan may disrupt the gut microbiome, warns Danielle Gaffin, a registered dietitian nutritionist based in San Diego. The potential health benefits of CMOS are still under scrutiny. Some studies suggest it possesses antimicrobial properties and is rich in antioxidants, which help combat oxidative stress. Nicholas Generals, a board-certified family medicine physician in Los Angeles, notes, "I'm not totally convinced of all of the touted health benefits, but I do see some potential theoretical health benefits." The antioxidant compounds within CMOS, such as polyphenol, have shown promise in certain studies for their disease-preventive properties. Moreover, the fiber content in unprocessed CMOS could offer prebiotic benefits, nourishing beneficial gut bacteria. However, experts like Generals emphasize that conventional sources of fiber, such as fresh vegetables, provide a more cost-effective and nutrient-rich alternative. Notably, CMOS is also a source of iodine, which is essential for thyroid health. However, most Americans receive adequate iodine from their diets, and excess consumption, especially for those already consuming iodine-rich foods, could lead to negative health effects. Despite its potential benefits, the risks associated with CMOS consumption cannot be overlooked. CMOS, like other algae, tends to absorb harmful substances from its environment, including heavy metals such as arsenic, mercury, and lead.
Gaffin warns heavy metals accumulate in sea moss, so the more consumed, the more it accumulates.
A forthcoming study slated for publication in the Journal of Agriculture and Food Research highlights the health implications of consuming contaminated seaweed products, linking them to kidney dysfunction, neurological damage, and an increased risk of cancer.
The FDA's lack of stringent regulations on dietary supplements adds another layer of concern.
As Generals points out, manufacturers can make various claims on labels that may not accurately reflect the content within the products.
Moreover,
the variability in sea moss preparations raises questions about their iodine levels and potential contamination with heavy metals or other harmful additives. In light of these findings, health experts recommend focusing on whole foods rather than chasing the allure of trendy supplements.
Eat whole foods.
Eat vegetables and fruits, suggests Generals.
Gaffin concurs, stating that sea moss is not a miracle superfood, especially given the absence of long-term studies and the rarity of iodine deficiency in the United States. As consumers navigate the complexities of health trends, it is essential to approach products like sea moss with a critical eye.
While it may offer some health benefits, the risks associated with heavy metal accumulation and the potential for inadequate regulation highlight the need for caution. Moving forward, consumers may benefit from prioritizing nutrient-rich
whole foods while remaining informed about the evolving landscape of health supplements.
In an era where wellness fads come and go, a return to basic wholesome nutrition may be the most prudent path to health. In a year marked by both economic challenges and opportunities, Forbes has unveiled its 2025 list of billionaires, revealing intriguing shifts in America's wealth landscape. The latest report not only highlights the wealthiest individuals across the nation but also sheds light on the growing concentration of wealth in states like Arizona, where 2 new billionaires have emerged, bringing the state's total to 15. The recent addition of Axon Enterprise founder and CEO Rick Smith, whose net worth is now estimated at $1.8 billion, and technology investor George Christ, valued at $1.7 billion, underscores Arizona's economic vitality.
Their entry into the billionaire ranks reflects broader trends in the technology sector,
which continues to thrive amidst fluctuating market conditions. Smith, who has been vocal about potential conflicts with Scottsdale leaders, indicates that entrepreneurial challenges are as prevalent as financial successes in the current economic climate. In the context of Arizona's billionaire club, DriveTime Automotive founder Ernest Garcia too remains at the top, boasting a staggering net worth of $14.9 billion and ranking 146th on the overall Forbes list. The juxtaposition of new entrants with established titans like Garcia illustrates a dynamic market where innovation and traditional business models coexist. Other notable figures on the list include CrowdStrike co-founder George Kurtz, valued at $6.3 billion, and Carvana founder Ernest Garcia III, with a net worth of $5.7 billion. The 2025 Forbes Billionaires list features a historic milestone. For the first time, the number of billionaires in the world has surpassed 3,000. Collectively worth approximately $16.1 trillion, an increase of $2 trillion from the previous year. The average fortune of those on the list has also risen, reaching $5.3 billion, which represents a notable increase of $200 million compared to 2024. This surge in wealth reflects ongoing market recovery and the resilience of certain sectors, particularly technology and finance, in the face of economic uncertainty. In addition to the billionaire rankings, Granite Telecommunications has received recognition for its corporate culture, landing a spot on Forbes' list of America's best employers for the 9th consecutive time. This accolade comes after a survey of over 217,000 employees indicating that Granite's commitment to a people-first approach fosters both a supportive workplace and strong community engagement.
The company's president and CEO Rob Hale emphasized that this recognition is a testament to the company's dedication to its employees and community, aligning with their ongoing philanthropic initiatives.
As these developments unfold, they signal an evolving economic landscape where wealth is increasingly concentrated among a select few, while companies that prioritize employee satisfaction and community contributions gain recognition and credibility. Looking ahead, the trajectory of wealth accumulation, particularly in technology-driven sectors, will likely continue to shape the financial narrative of the United States. Observers will be keen to see how new economic policies and ongoing market fluctuations affect both individual fortunes and broader economic trends in the coming years. In a significant breakthrough for understanding autism spectrum disorder, ASD researchers have uncovered a compelling link between gestational diabetes and the neurodevelopmental disorder. This revelation comes at a time when vaccine-related theories regarding autism continue to circulate despite their debunking by the scientific community. The recent study conducted in China and published in the Lancet Diabetes and Endocrinology journal presents a fresh perspective on potential risk factors associated with ASD, emphasizing the importance of maternal health during pregnancy. Gestational diabetes, which affects approximately 9% of pregnancies in the United States, has been shown to correlate with an increased likelihood of autism and other neurodevelopmental challenges in children. The comprehensive meta-analysis pooled data from 202 studies involving over 56 million mother-child pairs. While the research does not definitively establish causation, it reveals that children born to mothers with gestational diabetes are 25% more likely to be diagnosed with autism. The study further indicates a 30% increased risk for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder (ADHD) and a 32% higher likelihood of intellectual disabilities, among other developmental issues. While we cannot say that gestational diabetes causes these conditions, the data clearly suggest a significant association that warrants further investigation, commented one of the researchers involved in the study. Notably, the analysis found that diabetes diagnosed before pregnancy correlated with a 39% higher risk of neurodevelopmental disorders compared to those with gestational diabetes, which often resolves after childbirth. This finding aligns with past research indicating a higher prevalence of diabetes among individuals with autism and vice versa. A 2022 meta-analysis from the UK also highlighted a statistically significant association between diabetes and autism, further supporting the notion that maternal health during pregnancy plays a critical role in the developmental outcomes of children. The researchers called for diligent monitoring of blood sugar levels throughout pregnancy, suggesting that better management of gestational diabetes could help mitigate risks associated with neurodevelopmental disorders. The implications of this research are profound, as they highlight the need for healthcare professionals to prioritize maternal health and diabetes management during pregnancy. As discussions around the origins and risk factors for autism evolve, this study underscores the importance of moving beyond discredited theories. It shifts the focus toward tangible health issues that can be addressed through medical intervention. The ongoing research in this area could lead to a deeper understanding of autism and potentially pave the way for preventive measures that improve outcomes for children at risk. Looking ahead, the integration of this knowledge into prenatal care practices could be vital. As awareness grows about the connections between gestational diabetes and neurodevelopmental disorders, healthcare systems may need to adapt their approaches to maternal health, ensuring that expectant mothers receive the necessary support and monitoring to safeguard their children's developmental futures. In an era where geopolitical tensions heavily influence market dynamics, the ongoing trade war initiated by President Donald Trump is sending ripples of uncertainty throughout Wall Street. As financial analysts grapple with the implications of these tariffs, the latest developments have thrown the stock market into turmoil, prompting concerns about a potential recession that could alter the landscape for investors and corporations alike. Tesla Incorporated is a prime example of how the trade war is affecting specific companies. Over the past week, Tesla's stock has faced significant volatility, dropping as much as 10.5% amidst predictions from Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick that shares would never fall below a certain threshold again. These predictions came just as Chief Executive Elon Musk urged employees to hold onto their shares, signaling a moment of internal strife within the company. Dan Ives, global head of technology research at Wedbush Securities, recently slashed his price target for Tesla from $550 to $315.
citing political damage inflicted by Musk's controversial public persona and its adverse impact on demand in key markets like Europe and China.
Ives emphasized that the brand's current political symbolism has led to what he describes as permanent brand damage, a sentiment echoed by many investors who are now questioning Musk's leadership. Tesla has become a political symbol, and that is a very, very bad thing, he stated, highlighting the urgency for Musk to reassess his public engagements and focus on strengthening the company's core business. The impact of the trade war extends beyond Tesla, affecting a wide range of companies. As tariffs have disrupted supply chains and prompted fears of economic downturn, initial public offerings, IPOs, and mergers and acquisitions have been put on hold. Notably, companies like StubHub and Klarna have delayed their IPO plans, reflecting a broader trend of caution among investors. Columbia professor Angela Lee remarked, investors and founders want to see stability. We are at an incredibly unstable place, underscoring the growing anxiety in the market. Wall Street's apprehension is further evidenced by a near freeze in the investment-grade and high-yield bond markets, where no new offerings were registered for 3 days. This is alarming, as it indicates a significant widening of credit spreads, a crucial signal of rising recession fears. The potential for increased borrowing costs poses a serious threat to companies with upcoming debt obligations, leading analysts to predict a surge in defaults should economic conditions worsen. The stark reality is that the economic ramifications of the trade war are not confined to stock prices or immediate corporate earnings, they permeate consumer spending behaviors as well. The wealth effect, which previously buoyed investor optimism, is now being countered by a reverse effect as portfolio values decline. A recent report highlighted that while the top 10% of affluent Americans drive a substantial portion of consumer spending, a downturn in their fortunes could lead to reduced expenditures across the economy, creating a ripple effect that would further exacerbate economic uncertainty. As Wall Street braces for upcoming earnings reports from major banks, the anticipation is mixed. Analysts expect profits to decline for institutions such as JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America, while firms like Citigroup and Morgan Stanley may see gains. The stakes are high as bank CEOs convened over the weekend to discuss the chaotic market environment, indicating a shared sense of urgency among financial leaders. Looking ahead, the situation remains fluid, with many waiting to see if the administration will shift its approach to tariffs or if the current trajectory will continue to impose pressure on the markets. As companies navigate this tumultuous landscape, the decisions made in the coming weeks will be critical in determining their futures and, by extension, the stability of the broader economy. Investors and analysts alike will be watching closely to see how these dynamics evolve, hoping for clarity in a time of uncertainty. In a bold assertion that has sent ripples through the scientific community, renowned physicist Gerard T. Hooft recently expressed his dissatisfaction with the current understanding of quantum mechanics, labeling it as nonsense. This provocative statement comes on the heels of T. Hooft receiving the prestigious Special Breakthrough Prize in Fundamental Physics, which is valued at $3 million, recognizing his extensive contributions to theoretical physics. T. Hooft, a Nobel laureate and a professor emeritus at Utrecht University, has spent decades unraveling the complexities of the fundamental forces of nature. His groundbreaking work, particularly in non-abelian gauge theories, helped lay the groundwork for the Standard Model of particle physics. However, in an interview with Scientific American, he conveyed a growing frustration with the field's reliance on quantum mechanics, suggesting it is time for a paradigm shift in how physicists approach the subject. The Standard Model has been heralded as one of the most successful theories in science, yet it has also become a source of stagnation, with many researchers struggling to push beyond its established boundaries. In discussing the current state of particle physics, T. Hooft remarked, "There will be periods where things seem to be quieter," yet he remains optimistic about the potential for future breakthroughs. He noted that while recent discoveries may seem small, they contribute significantly to a broader understanding of physics. Despite his accolades, including a Nobel Prize and multiple other prestigious awards, T. Hooft expressed concern that many of his significant contributions are often overshadowed by his earlier work. What worries me a little bit is that most of them were for the same thing, he said, referring to the repeated recognition for his work on the electroweak interaction. He hopes that the Breakthrough Prize will encourage a more comprehensive appreciation of his career. A central aspect of T. Hooft's critique of quantum mechanics is the notion of locality. He believes that fundamental laws governing the universe should adhere to local interactions rather than non-local phenomena, which he argues lead to confusion and complexity in current theories. He contends we should be able to phrase such things as solid laws, and we are not even close to that, emphasizing the need for a more logical and straightforward understanding of physical laws. His skepticism extends to the widely accepted concept of superposition in quantum mechanics, which posits that particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously. Superpositions are not real, he asserts, arguing that this idea has led to unnecessary mysticism surrounding quantum phenomena. He encourages scientists to re-evaluate their approaches and consider new frameworks that may provide clearer insights into the nature of reality. As the conversation around quantum mechanics continues to evolve, T. Hooft's opinions are both a call to action and a reminder of the complexities inherent in theoretical physics. His insights may pave the way for new methodologies that challenge the status quo and inspire the next generation of physicists to think outside traditional paradigms. Looking ahead, the implications of T. Hooft's views could significantly alter the trajectory of research in both quantum mechanics and particle physics. By advocating for a return to more classical interpretations and emphasizing the importance of local interactions, he hopes to instigate a renaissance in the understanding of fundamental physics. The scientific community will undoubtedly be watching closely as these discussions unfold, with the potential for new theories to emerge that could reshape our comprehension of the universe. In an era where food security is increasingly becoming a pressing global issue, a new approach to estimating crop yield potential and gaps has emerged, challenging conventional statistical methods that have long guided agricultural planning. An international team of agronomists, including researchers from the University of Nebraska, Lincoln, recently published their findings in the journal Nature Food. This study calls for a re-evaluation of how crop yield data is compiled, emphasizing the need for more accurate assessments to meet the growing demands of the world's population. Patricio Grassini, a professor of agronomy and one of the co-authors of the study, highlighted the urgency of the situation. "We are in a race to feed the world with the agricultural land we have," he said, underscoring the importance of reliable yield estimates in driving investments in agricultural research and development. The study argues that current statistical models often rely on overly optimistic scenarios, drawing from the most productive regions and ideal weather conditions, which do not accurately reflect the variability across different agricultural landscapes. The research team scrutinized existing methodologies that tend to generalize yield potential across broad regions, often overlooking the diversity in climate and soil types that can significantly impact agricultural productivity. If you use the best county with the best soils and the best year as a reference, you are going to overestimate your production potential, Grassini explained. This issue is particularly critical in regions like Africa, where farmers may lack access to the inputs necessary to achieve yields that align with their climate's capabilities. The paper, titled "Statistical Approaches Are Inadequate for Accurate Estimation of Yield Potential and Gaps at Regional Level," details a comparative analysis of estimates derived from 4 statistical models and a more nuanced bottom-up spatial scaling approach. This latter method incorporates robust crop modeling and localized data on weather and soil, such as those provided by the Global Yield Gap and Water Productivity Atlas developed at Nebraska. The study found that this bottom-up approach, which leverages long-term data and local variations, offers a more accurate depiction of yield potentials and gaps. Grassini anticipates that the findings may spark debate among agronomists and statisticians alike as they challenge long-standing practices in yield estimation. "This is a call to set the record straight," he stated, emphasizing that accurate data is crucial for informing agricultural policies and investment decisions. The implications of this research are significant. A more precise understanding of yield gaps can help identify regions where food production can be enhanced, thereby guiding agricultural research and development initiatives.
The study's findings are supported by contributions from a diverse team including experts from Kansas State University and Iowa State University.
As the world grapples with the twin challenges of population growth and climate change, the need for innovative and accurate agricultural strategies has never been more critical. The researchers' call for a paradigm shift in yield estimation methods not only underscores the importance of localized data but also highlights a path forward in the quest for global food security. Looking ahead, the agricultural community may see a shift in how yield potentials are calculated, with implications that could resonate through policymaking, research funding, and ultimately food production strategies worldwide. As researchers continue to refine these models, the hope is that they will contribute to more sustainable farming practices and enhanced food security for future generations. In a world where corporate leadership is often perceived as a male-dominated arena, the journey of women striving for equality and recognition remains fraught with challenges.
Bonnie Stevens, an experienced journalist and public relations consultant, shares her personal experience that illustrates the unseen barriers many women face in the workplace.
Her narrative, published in Flagstaff Business News, resonates with the ongoing discourse surrounding gender bias and the need for supportive corporate cultures. Stevens recounts her initial excitement at being hired into a leadership position, only to be met with the harsh reality of being the only woman in a room filled with older, predominantly white male executives. Tasked with taking notes rather than contributing to discussions, she felt diminished and undervalued. Despite her qualifications and the title she held, the stark reality of second-generation bias quickly became apparent.
This phenomenon, as noted in a Harvard Business Review article, involves subtle forms of discrimination that can render a woman's contributions invisible. Reflecting on her experiences, Stevens highlights the importance of mentorship and institutional support for women in leadership roles. She argues that fostering an environment where women can develop and internalize their leadership identity is crucial. Integrating leadership into one's core identity is particularly challenging for women who must establish credibility in a culture that is deeply conflicted about whether, when, and how they should exercise authority, Stevens writes. Such insights underline the need for organizations to acknowledge and actively combat gender bias to create equitable workplaces. Meanwhile, in a different realm of innovation, the Washington Speakers Bureau has recently expanded its roster to include Jeremy Utley, a Stanford University adjunct professor and a leading voice in the integration of artificial intelligence (AI) within business. As companies grapple with the rapid evolution of AI and its implications for creativity and strategy, Utley's expertise promises to guide organizations through these transformative changes. His unique ability to translate cutting-edge AI research into practical, actionable strategies makes him an invaluable resource for organizations navigating the intersection of human creativity and artificial intelligence, stated Ryan Heil, president of WSB. Utley's approach emphasizes that creativity is not an inherent trait but a skill that can be learned, especially in collaboration with AI. His speaking engagements promise to provide organizations with the tools to harness AI's potential while fostering human creativity, a combination increasingly seen as essential for sustainable growth in today's competitive landscape. In the same vein, SBI Growth Advisory has made headlines with its acquisition of Daydream's AI business intelligence platform, now renamed ACE. This move is set to reshape go-to-market consulting by merging advanced AI capabilities with expert strategy. The 2024 Harvard Business Review article, "Why Consistent Growth is So Challenging," describes what our clients know: growth requires connectivity between strategic vision and system execution, said Mike Hoffman, CEO of SBI. By integrating AI into their consulting framework, SBI aims to deliver deeper insights and foster faster, more informed decision-making processes for their clients. These developments within corporate America reflect a broader trend towards integrating advanced technologies and fostering inclusive environments. As organizations continue to evolve, the imperative remains clear: to support diverse voices and embrace innovative strategies that drive both growth and equity.
The future of business will hinge not only on technological advancement but on the ability to create spaces where every leader, regardless of gender, can thrive and contribute meaningfully. In an era where diplomacy and international relations are constantly evolving, the nomination of a new ambassador to the Vatican by former President Donald Trump has stirred a significant conversation around U.S. foreign aid policies. The nominee, whose name has yet to garner widespread recognition, recently defended the controversial cuts to U.S. foreign aid that have characterized the Trump administration's approach. This move underscores a broader strategy that prioritizes America's interests over traditional diplomatic support, a stance that could reshape the U.S.'s role on the global stage. During a recent Senate confirmation hearing, the nominee addressed concerns regarding the reductions in foreign aid, stating, "The cuts are not a reflection of the U.S. commitment to its allies but rather a recalibration to ensure that our resources are used effectively and to support initiatives that directly benefit American interests." This perspective aligns with Trump's long-standing critique of foreign spending, which he argues must yield tangible benefits for the United States. Such rhetoric resonates with a segment of the American populace that advocates for a more insular foreign policy. The implications of this ambassadorial nomination and the associated foreign aid cuts are significant. As the Vatican plays a crucial role in global diplomacy, particularly in humanitarian issues and conflict resolution, a shift in U.S. support could impact relationships with various countries. For instance, reduced aid might hinder efforts to address poverty, health crises, and religious conflicts, potentially exacerbating existing global issues. Critics of the current administration's approach warn that such a strategy might alienate allies and diminish the U.S.'s influence in international discussions, particularly those involving global human rights and humanitarian efforts. Moreover, as the geopolitical landscape continues to shift, the focus on transactional diplomacy may lead to a re-evaluation of long-standing alliances. The nominee's testimony indicates a willingness to engage with the Vatican on specific issues but suggests a departure from broader collaborative efforts that have defined U.S.-Vatican relations in previous administrations. This could signal a new chapter in how the U.S. engages with international entities, prioritizing economic returns over traditional diplomatic engagements. As the Senate deliberates on the nominee's confirmation, the outcome will likely influence not only U.S.-Vatican relations but also the future trajectory of American foreign aid policies. Observers will be keenly watching how this decision unfolds and its potential ramifications on international cooperation, particularly in an increasingly interconnected world where global challenges require collective action. In conclusion, the nomination of Trump's ambassador to the Vatican and the defense of foreign aid cuts highlight a critical juncture in U.S. foreign policy. As the international community navigates complex challenges, the direction taken by the United States could redefine its role in global diplomacy. With ongoing discussions and potential confirmations on the horizon, the future of U.S. engagement with the Vatican and the broader world remains uncertain, inviting scrutiny and debate on the effectiveness of this new approach. In a remarkable intersection of magic and cognitive science, researchers are uncovering how illusions and deceptions can shed light on the complexities of human perception and free will. Gustav Kuhn, a psychologist and practicing magician, has dedicated his career to understanding the cognitive quirks that allow magicians to manipulate our senses. His fascination began as a teenager when a friend performed a trick that involved pulling an egg from his ear, leaving him captivated by how our brains can be deceived into accepting the impossible as reality. "My whole life during my teenage years was centered on magic and deception." Kuhn reflects a sentiment that has driven him to explore the underlying mechanisms of our minds through the lens of magic. Kuhn has contributed to the burgeoning field known as the science of magic, which has seen over 150 papers published since the late 2000s. This research seeks to unravel how expectation influences our perception and how easily our sense of agency can be manipulated. By investigating the cognitive processes that underpin our susceptibility to magic, researchers are not only uncovering the mechanics of deception but also gaining insights into broader questions of consciousness and decision-making. Critics from both the scientific and magical communities have raised concerns about the rigor of this emerging field. Some scientists argue that the methodologies employed may lack the necessary robustness, while certain magicians feel that these studies threaten the mystique of their art. Nonetheless, the potential implications of this research are profound. As Kuhn articulates, understanding the psychological principles behind magic can lead to improved practices in areas ranging from marketing to mental health, where understanding human perception is crucial.
In a parallel realm of scientific exploration,
advancements in biotechnology have led to groundbreaking achievements such as the de-extinction of the dire wolf, a species that vanished approximately 12,500 years ago. Colossal Biosciences, a biotech firm based in Dallas, has successfully created 3 dire wolf pups using ancient DNA and advanced cloning techniques. This feat has been hailed as a landmark moment in the field of de-extinction, with the company aiming to breathe life into other extinct species, including the mammoth. Using DNA extracted from dire wolf fossils, colossal scientists engineered a hybrid genome by making precise edits to the genetic material of gray wolves, the dire wolf's closest living relative. This massive milestone is the first of many coming examples demonstrating that our end-to-end de-extinction technology stack works, stated Ben Lamb, co-founder and CEO of Colossal, highlighting the innovative approaches being adopted to resurrect lost species. While the excitement surrounding the resurrection of the dire wolf is palpable, it also raises ethical questions about the implications of playing God with nature. Critics argue that the resources allocated to such projects could be better spent on conservation efforts for endangered species. Additionally, there are concerns regarding the ecological roles these resurrected creatures would fulfill in modern ecosystems, which have dramatically changed since the time of the dire wolf. As scientists continue to refine their techniques and explore the possibilities of de-extinction, the conversation surrounding the ethical ramifications of these advancements becomes increasingly important. The intersection of cognitive psychology and biotechnology presents a unique landscape for understanding not only the capabilities of our minds but also the responsibilities that come with our growing technological prowess. As we look to the future, the ongoing research in both the science of magic and de-extinction will likely yield further insights into the complexities of our minds and the natural world. The implications of these studies could transform our understanding of perception and agency while challenging our preconceptions about the boundaries of science and nature. The journey ahead promises not only to unravel the mysteries of our cognitive processes but also to provoke deeper reflections on our role as stewards of the planet and its diverse inhabitants.